Down the Road Show is a product of Murdoch Worldwide Entertainment. This is Down the Road Show. This is entertainment, all up in your face.
This moment in Star Trek 4 came because one day when we were preparing the script, I was walking down Columbus Avenue in New York on a hot summer day, and suddenly there's this loud, very loud blast of bad rock music. And I take a look, and here's this punker carrying this big box on his shoulder, and he's got this thing blasting at an 11, you know. I mean, just destroying everybody's tranquility on the street. Everybody's angry, including me. And I thought if I could pinch his brains out, I would. So that's how I got my back, Adam. I put this in the movie, and one of my favorite moments. And the movie was obviously, it's one of my favorite of all the Star Trek movies. I really enjoyed making it. A great job. And then I directed Three Men and a Baby. I didn't know you directed that, did you? Yeah, so Gutenberg and Danson and Miraculous Baby, we had a wonderful time making that movie. Had a great time. John Delancey and I got together for some projects called Alien Voices. We did some radio performances of various science fiction classics and had a great time. So all I wanted was to make a living as an actor. I did set out to be one more good one. I believe in being a good one if you're going to do it. Let's be as good as we possibly can. I had a great, great run. And honor, well, I do have 4 Emmy nominations and several Lifetime Achievement Awards and 4 honorary doctorates and plenty of popularity. It's great. It's been a great, great run. Popularity is great, but Victor Hugo reminds us that popularity is the crumbs of greatness. So just keep your head in check. And do I have an identity issue? Of course. If somebody yells Spock on the street, it's my head that turns. I have walked alone, seeking answers. I have lived alone, chasing dreams. I have tried to prove my worth to worthless judges. I have cried my pain in silent screams. I have been sometimes served a touch of kindness. I have wandered in golden fields of grace. I have been released by honest laughter. I have touched the western wall of the holy place. I have soared alone above the cloud heads. I have walked the deep, dark tunnels of the earth. I have dined with mystics and with prophets. I have heard the pain of woman giving birth. I have been sought after as a teacher. I have been refused the laurel wreath. I've heard the thunder blast of sunrise. I have watched the final touch of death. I have played the rules set by the master, though often I didn't understand the game. I have worn more masks than I remember. I have been a face without a name. And when, like you, I ask the final question, who on earth am I supposed to be? I always come full circle to the answer, me, only me, always me. I was at a party a while back, a bunch of Hollywood people, crowded room. I felt a pair of hands on my shoulders from behind, and a voice whispered in my ear, I recognize you, and your ear is fixed. And it was John Wayne. I believe in living a creative life. I believe in bringing more to the party. I believe in showing up and using both sides of my brain. I believe in being passionate about my work. In recent years, photography has been my passion for the last 14, 15 years. My work is now in permanent museum collections around the country. I published a book called Shekhinah, which is based on this symbol. and it's about the feminine aspect of God. And I published a book called The Full Body Project, which is about body image in our culture, the Full Body Project. And most recently, I did a project called Secret Self. I read a story on the internet a while ago that I found quite intriguing. Aristophanes, famous playwright and philosopher in ancient Greece, said at a symposium conducted by Sophocles, a symposium where a lot of guys sitting around drinking a lot of wine, talking about humanity, and the subject of human angst came up, human anxiety, a human sense of being sort of incomplete somehow, something missing, something you want in your life that's not quite complete or there. And Aristophanes had an explanation. He said, this was a very fanciful idea of his. He said humans at one time we were double people. We were all attached, double, back to back, in various combinations. And humans became very powerful, and the gods became angry, and they sent Zeus to solve the problem, which he did by taking a big sword and splitting everybody in two, and sending them on their separate paths. And ever since then, said Aristophanes, humans have been looking for the other part of themselves in the hopes of reintegrating to make themselves feel whole again. And that's the reason, he said, we have angst, we have this anxiety, this sense of being incomplete. So I did a project called Secret Self, based on that story. I photographed 100 people in various aspects of they were invited to come and be photographed as their secret or hidden or fantasy self. And we got some great people doing some wonderful things. Some of it was very funny. This was a wonderful young woman who said that she was the daughter of a preacher, and they traveled from town to town. As a kid, she had to be on her best behavior all the time. She was a preacher's daughter. So she felt that she had missed her real childhood, and now as an adult, she wanted to try to recapture her childhood. So she made herself this dinosaur outfit, and that's the way she came to be photographed. And this was our cover of the catalog of the show. The show was at the Massachusetts Museum of Contemporary Art for about 6 months. And he is a painter. He paints portraits of people who've been in war, and he interviews them and writes about them. And his secret desire is to live as part of the earth, to live in the woods away from any conflict, away from anything that has to do with fight or conflict. So he came totally covered from head to toe with mud and leaves, just like that. And then we had this young guy who, this young fellow, his grandmother made him this cape when he was born. He's carried it all his life. He was in the Navy for 6 years. He had that cape in his locker in the Navy for 6 years. Superman. Wonderful people came with these great stories. So as a photographer, I have street credibility. My wife and I were on our way home from an event in Los Angeles a few months ago, walking to the parking lot with Tom Hanks. And the young fellow recognized him, came running up with a camera, said, "Mr. Hanks, can I have my picture taken with you?" And Tom Hanks said, "Sure, who's going to take the picture?" Now the young guy recognizes me. And he said, "Oh, Mr. Nimoy, you're a wonderful photographer, will you take the picture?" I said, "You got it." I took his picture, and that young man now has a picture of himself with Tom Hanks, taken by Leonard Nimoy. That's right. Whatever work we do, we're all involved in a creative process. Every day of our lives, we are creative in some way. We get up and make a day out of it in some way. We make creative choices every day, all day long. We are involved in a creative process. And this is a cradle that I have on the wall in my office at home. I see it every day. I heard the solemn whisper of the God of all arts. I shall give you hunger and pain and sleepless nights. Also, beauty and satisfaction known to few, and glimpses of the heavenly life. None of these shall you have continually, and of their coming and going you shall not be foretold. And that pretty much sums up the life of the artist. I am an incurable romantic. I believe in hope, dreams, and decency. I believe in love, tenderness, and kindness. I believe in mankind. I believe in goodness, mercy, and charity. I believe in a universal spirit. I believe in casting bread upon the waters. I am awed by the snow-capped mountains, by the vastness of the oceans. I'm moved by a couple of any age, holding hands as they walk through city streets. A living creature in pain makes me shudder with sorrow. A seagull's cry fills me with a sense of mystery. A river or stream can move me to tears. A lake nestling in a valley can bring me peace. I wish for all mankind the sweet, simple joy that we have found together. I know that it will be, and we shall celebrate. We shall taste the wine and the fruit, celebrate the sunset and the sunrise, the cold and the warm, the sounds and the silences, and the voices of the children. Celebrate the dreams and hopes which have filled the souls of all decent men and women. We shall lift our glasses and toast with tears of joy. My friends, I mean it sincerely when I say to you, may each and every one of you live long and prosper. Thank you.
Rampage Fitness Academy is located at 23681 Via Linda, Suite A in Mission Viejo, California, 92691. Call them at 949-830-7267. Cardio kickboxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, regular boxing, yoga, or women's classes only. Rampage Fitness Academy has it all. Check them out at rampagefitnessacademy.com.